The Arctic tundra is located in the northern hemisphere, encircling the North Pole and extending south to the contiguous forest of taiga.
The tundra is known for its cold, desert-like conditions. The growing season ranges from 50 days to 60 days. The average winter temperature is negative 34 degrees Celsius or negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit. The polar bear is one of the animals in the Arctic tundra. Here's some interesting facts. The polar bear is the largest land carnivore in the world. There are around 20,000 to 25,000 polar bears in the whole entire world. Polar bears have more problems with overheating than they do from the cold weather. Polar bears hunt seals. They wait for the seals to come up of the sea to breathe. When the seals go to get oxygen, the polar bears will bite or grab the seal and pull it onto land. Besides just the adult seals, the seal pups are another important way the polar bears eat. The polar bears adapt to their environment by blending into the snow with their white fur. Polar bears have layers of fat and a lot of fur to keep them warm. The polar bears stay at temperature most of the time at 97.8 degrees Fahrenheit. The Arctic moss is one of the plants in the Arctic tundra. Here's some interesting facts. The moss covers the bottom of Char Lake in Cornwallis Islands. The highest temperature it gets is 4 degrees Celsius to 6 degrees Celsius. The moss grows about 1 centimeter every year. The Arctic moss lives below freezing waters. The moss helps itself and the other plants get warm. It's very tall, so it can get the sunlight that it needs to survive.
The penguin is another animal that lives in the Arctic tundra. The emperor penguin is the largest and heaviest penguin. Penguins can dive up to 1,800 feet underwater and stay up to 18 minutes. The emperor penguin can live up to negative 180 degrees Fahrenheit in their harshest conditions. When weather conditions worsen, the parents huddle together to create warmth. The parents of newly born emperor penguins take turns watching their children so they can go hunt and eat. The emperor penguin eats fish and krill. Emperor penguins spend long winters on open ice and breed during the harshest seasons. Females lay single eggs and promptly leave it behind. They undertake extending hunting trips that last sometimes 2 months. Depending on the extent of the ice part, females may need to travel 50 miles to 80 kilometers just to reach the open ocean. The bearberry is another plant from the Arctic tundra. The bearberry is an Arctic plant that attracts birds and bears. The Arctic berry can live in extremely cold weather and go without sunlight for weeks. The bearberry blooms between April and June, and the petals are white and red. The bearberry is often used for therapy and medication. This berry is also confused for the American cranberry. The berry is 6 to 12 inches high and grows in bushes. The bearberry is an evergreen plant that belongs to the healthier family. It can be found in Canada and the USA. The bearberry is adapted to long periods of cold weather, and it thrives in the tundra. The bearberry grows on dry, poor, unusually sandy soil and is not usually directed to sunlight.
The reindeer is another animal in the Arctic tundra. The reindeer is part of the deer family, which includes deer, elk, moose, and wapiti. Reindeers have long legs, hooves, and antlers. Reindeers are also known as the caribou, depending on where you live. In the northern parts of the North America, they are known as caribou and roam freely. Since reindeers have to live in very cold temperatures, they have thick fur to keep them warm. They even have fur on the bottom of their hooves to keep them from slipping on the icy ground. Their big, broad hooves also help them paddle across rivers if they're traveling. Caribous of North America can travel up to 3,000 miles a year, and its speeds can go as fast as 50 miles per hour. In the spring and fall is when a large number of reindeers migrate because they are hungry and are looking for food. Speaking of food, Arctic wolves, polar bears, humans, brown bears, and the occasional shark are predators of the reindeer. Large animals of the Arctic circle in the tundra usually hunt them, but reindeers are very fast and move in big groups, so they aren't easy to catch. Reindeers are herbivores, eat meat, and like leafy greens and mushrooms, and on occasion they eat bird eggs and Arctic char. The diamond leaf is another plant of the Arctic tundra. The diamond leaf willow is like a leaf. The twigs bend easily and are soft. They can grow to be 30 feet tall in height or just a few inches. In the tundra, the willow has fuzzy white caterpillar-looking flowers growing atop it. The willows in the tundra are short, growing only just a few inches. When the willow blooms on the tundra, it looks like bumpy, fuzzy carpet covering the ground. The twigs of the willow can be made into baskets because they bend easily. The wood of some willows produce charcoal, which they use to make gunpowder with. Wood from the willow is good to use to start a fire since it burns easily. The willow is needed in the tundra because it provides food for the animals like musk oxen and caribou or reindeer.
The Arctic willow is another plant in the Arctic tundra. The Arctic willow it has shallow roots, so it's very susceptible to root damage, and it has a very short growth season. But it can adapt to the cold easily as its leaves have grown small hairs. It can also release an insecticide to protect itself from pesky little insects, and its shallow root system helps protect it against permafrost. The Arctic fox is once again another animal in the tundra. They can live for 3 to 6 years, and they usually range from 2.3 to 3.5 feet, and they can weigh up to 21 pounds. Their mating season usually lasts from September to May, and to help them survive their harsh environment, Arctic foxes' coats can help them withstand the cold, and they can also change their coat color to blend in with the seasons.